The Marriage of Sir John de Mandeville by Frank Belknap Long. Because the king of travellers had sworn that he would wive, the golden roofs were thronged with heads of every lad alive. 1,000 shawms were lightly blown, 1,000 drums were beat, and young Sir John de Mandeville came riding down the street. He was a wiry knight and brave, a foolish knight and wise, and he had flaming caravans and sons within his eyes. The Troglodytes, he spoke with heat, have bells upon their toes. They sleep in caves on yellow leaves and flap their ears at foes. Sir John, he paused and wet his lips. The people crowded nearer. His words were honey-dew and wine to every famished hearer. In Asia, in the grey-white lands, beyond the fields of Gog, there dwell 1,000,000 unicorns that caper in the fog. And there are men whose swollen lips do overlap their faces, men of girth and men of thin, and darkish pygmy races. The sea of gravel ebbs and flows, as other seas do not. Upon its banks of brackish sand the golden fishes rot. I've been to lands of fibrous fruits, where men are born full grown, great bearded tots who cry and laugh, and suck their thumbs and moan. They're fed on milk and griffin's eggs until they reach their prime, and that's at 80 odd or more, and then they lisp in rhyme. And I have wooed the Amazons, who hate all sickly men. They kill their infants if they show a weakness in their ken. And I have been to Egypt land, and seen the nodding Sphinx, who sleeps 1,000 years and then awakes and slyly winks. And I have seen a head that had no body for its mate. It lay upon a grassy slope, and ate and ate and ate. And I have talked with Prester John, with Kubla Khan and kings of hollow lands whose eyes are green, who love all loveless things. And I have watched the cranes uprise against a sky of gold, beyond the land of darkness, where night is and the cold. And no manner of man may fare unto the frozen world, for there all ends, and he would be into the heavens hurled. And there are lands upon which mists have settled like a shroud, and lands where silence is the law, and none may speak aloud. And I have watched the satyrs dance by lonely inland meres, and I have held a brimming bowl to catch a dragon's tears. And I have seen the cockatrice, the kraken, and the roc, the hippogriff and Tityus, and blue-eyed Scythian cock. And I have seen the Isle of Spice, the Isle of Silver Laughter, the moving isle, the Isle of Fruits, and the dark isle after. But then young Mandeville he turned, and saw his gracious bride. Her eyes were gleaming as she rode, her hair was blowing wide. And Sir Knight laughed a merry laugh, and swore that he would be no more a weary traveller beyond the China Sea. They entered in the church at dawn, the kneeling bishops sang, and Mandeville was wed, and then the silver bells they rang. Because a weary traveller had sworn that he would wive, the golden roofs were thronged with heads of every lad alive.